Hello and a very good morning, everyone. How are you today? So, it was a very interesting trading day yesterday on Wednesday. I had a live webinar at 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. local Singapore and Malaysia time. During that 1 hour, markets didn't really move much, but we were analyzing the UK pound, the euro dollar, the US dollar index, and also gold prices. And we were waiting for something. Okay, so it didn't happen at 2 to 3 p.m. However, once the webinar ended at 3 p.m., markets started to get active, and just at about 3 p.m. plus, we can see the UK pound moving down about 40 pips and then going back up. And then later on in the US trading session, it went down about 100 over pips. Okay, so yeah, still a very interesting and productive day for trading yesterday. So before we look into the technical charts, let us see what is coming up for the next 24 hours on the economic calendar. So again, a very good morning. My name is Edmund. Today is a Thursday, 25th of June, 2020. For today, we will have some minor economic data coming up from the European side, starting off with the German consumer climate data at 2 p.m., followed by the Confederation of British Industry realized sales numbers. This will be at 6 p.m. Both these economic numbers or both this economic data should not be having a major impact on the markets. So I would say that the markets will still be operating as usual. Again, watch out for 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And moving towards 7:30 p.m., we will be having the European Central Bank monetary policy meeting accounts. This data may have some impact on the euro dollar especially, but I would say the major move for today will have a significant relevancy to yesterday's move. Okay, so we're going to have a look at the technical charts of what happened yesterday to understand the latest sentiments, because yesterday's move during the US trading session was a pretty significant move. Okay, so we will understand the price action and the sentiment when we analyze the technical charts. Okay, moving on towards the evening session, we will be having a number of relatively important economic data from the United States, from the US. At 8:30 p.m., we will be having three economic data releases. The first one will be the core durable goods orders. The second one will be the final GDP data, and the third one will be the unemployment claims numbers. So when we look at the market forecast for these three economic numbers, we can see that core durable goods orders is expected to come in at 2.1% versus the previous month it was negative 7.7%. So there has been some improvement in the core durable goods orders. For the final GDP, quarterly final GDP, markets are expecting a negative 5% negative growth. And if any data that comes out tonight, which is better than negative 5%, for example, it comes in at negative 4.6%, negative 4.8%, is theoretically better than market forecast. Okay. Unemployment claims for tonight, markets are expecting the numbers to come in at 1.32 million US citizens filing for unemployment benefits. Again, if the numbers come in below this mark, it is theoretically a positive development, and theoretically should see the US dollar strengthen. Okay, so again, yesterday was a very interesting day. Yeah, the US dollar has been going up for the whole of yesterday. We see oil prices dropping a lot, and also we see the UK pound dropping pretty drastically, and also we saw gold prices having a huge volatility. Okay, so other major news coming up for the next 24 hours, or other news that happened over the last 24 hours. Tonight, we will also be having the natural gas storage numbers at 10:30 p.m. I think it will not have a huge impact on oil prices, as yesterday oil prices already moved down quite a lot. Okay, partly due to the economic data. The crude oil inventories data coming in at 1.4 million. 1.4 million versus market expectations of 1.2 million barrels. Actually, it is not a huge increase in inventory or supplies. However, we can see the oil prices dropping a lot. This could be mainly due to the worries that new coronavirus cases will actually slow down demand for crude oil moving forward. Okay, so this 1.4 million was, in my opinion, was not the main factor that pushed down oil prices. Okay, so um, other data or other news or other events happening for the last 24 hours. As we saw just now on the US dollar index, the US dollar strengthened against most of the G10 currencies, especially the Aussie dollar and Kiwi. Kiwi would be the New Zealand dollar, basically on concerns about a resurgence in COVID-19 infections. Again, we saw in yesterday's market outlook, market report, cases in the US has risen by an average of 1.6%. Yesterday or the previous few days, on average, daily numbers increased by about 36,000 new infection cases versus previous average of 1.3%. Okay, so other economic data released yesterday in terms of the result. Yesterday's economic calendar was pretty quiet. We only had some the Royal Bank of New Zealand in the morning announcing their rate statement. We had the German IFO business climate data, which came in at 86.2, which was better than market expectations of 85. It's also reflected here. Okay, coming in at 86.2, better than market expectations. Again, this is in line with I would say encouraging economic data coming not only from Europe but also from the UK, the US, and also China. Ever since I would say the 18th of May. Okay, so 18th of May onwards, I have noticed the economic activities and economic data around the world has been improving. Okay, so that was for this one, the German business climate numbers. And again, the other data yesterday which had some significance was just the crude oil inventories data coming in at 1.4 million barrels of crude oil rather than 1.2 million. Okay, so other minor developments. European Union Brexit's chief negotiator Michel Barnier, okay, mentioned that it is important that the UK and the EU come out with a proper draft agreement, and they will be meeting up in October, where most of the bloc leaders, European bloc countries, will be meeting up. And the month of October will provide some sufficient time for the UK and also for the EU to do some ratifications or amendments to the draft agreement just before the transition period expires by, if I'm not mistaken, it is 31st of January 2021. Okay, but mentions here it expires by year end. So of course, this is the PDF format of the news updates, and also currently I'm recording it into video. If you guys receive this in PDF format, I also analyze in detail on the UK pound. Over here, I will be going to the technical charts, which is more precise and more detailed rather than running through the static PDF format. But just like to highlight on this news. Again, this is for the US WTI oil, which was the crude oil inventories data yesterday. So yesterday's numbers reported by the EIA, energy, I forgot the I is for what, energy agency. Okay, from the US, they mentioned that crude oils increased by 1.44 billion barrels, which was this data, 1.4. However, more worrying is that supplies have reached a record high of 550 million barrels of crude oil. Okay, so that was one of the main reasons why crude oil prices dropped, and also due to the fact that there's a spike in the coronavirus cases. Okay, regardless of the news, of course, if you analyze the technical charts, you will also be able to understand the movement and sentiments of crude oil prices. Okay, so for today, again, watch out for the evening session. A lot of data coming out from the US, and we should be expecting quite some action from 7 p.m. onwards. Okay, so let us move on to the technical charts analysis.